Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Look out, the Comet's coming. Try to tell y'all, every time there's some craziness that comes up, I'm going to do a part 2, part 3 until I get to, we just going to keep doing parts as long as the bullshit continues. Because every day there's something else that happens in boxing, with the women in particular. There's so much drama with the women, it's crazy. But one thing I want to touch on real quick. You see this SNAC thing? SNAC isn't PEDS, people. Somebody was going back and forth trying to debate me on SNAC. I'm like, you know who you're talking to? You follow the drama. You don't follow boxing. You hear somebody say something, you're telling me that SNAC is PEDS? SNAC is not PEDS. Y'all gotta stop this shit. This is the SNAC website. Who's that? Debunking? You know what I'm saying? SNAC has all kind of products, man. You scroll down here. They're telling you who they are, what they do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to go out here and just take a look at it. Look at their products. It's like going to a GNC. You understand? Go to your GNC, get your ZMA, or go to the SNAC website and get your little stuff. They're showing you the different people who are using the products. You know what I'm saying? They got all kind of fighters and stuff who use SNAC. All right? But I just want to point this out to you. Okay? These are some of the fighters who've used it. Mikey Garcia, Andre, of course you guys know about Haney and Shakir, and there was J-Rock and Ortiz. There's a lot of people who use SNAC, right? I ain't here to get into that. The problem, right, and I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to go on and get to what I came here to talk about. The problem is Victor Conte, may he rest in peace. By now y'all should know who he was, who he became. But because of his history, which he turned over a new leaf, that's what has certain people out here taking that and running with it. Even though the man's dead and gone, they sitting here talking and just stirring up shit, you know. And they can do what they want. But I'm just telling you, there are a lot of fighters, some of your favorite fighters who use SNAC. SNAC is not PEDS. Now, if there is someone who's a SNAC user who ends up testing positive for something, which I'm not sure of, I think there's like I think there was somebody who may have tested, right? But out of the hundreds and hundreds of people who've used the SNAC products, I'm not aware of people testing positive for shit. But I think there was one person who was on it who may have tested positive. But the bottom line is, don't equate SNAC with PEDS. That's not accurate. Now, back to what I was gonna say. Yo, there's all kind of shit going on right out now with the ladies. How many of y'all? Let me tell you this. If I could tell you that Clarissa Shields, let me say it this way: Would you feel differently if you knew someone today was bullying someone, right? But then come to find out that the person who's now being bullied used to bully the bully. Let me say that again. If you see a bully today bullying someone, you're going to probably want to say knock it off. But would you feel differently if you found out that the person who's the victim being bullied used to bully that person, the other person back in the day, and mistreat that person and talk about them, hygiene, appearance, being poor, right? How would you feel then? Now, there's some things going on out there in women's boxing. Some of these fighters, well, there are some. It goes all the way back to the amateur days. Some are being mistreated, being bullied, being alienated, being ostracized, being laughed at, having horrible things done to them. Well, I'm giving you facts. And then you've seen where there were opportunities, where some decided to stay in the Olympics, others decided to turn pro. And there were reasons for all these things happening. What if I tell you a lot of the drama you see going on in women's boxing, and how about this? There's more to come. The comet is coming. What if I was to tell you a lot of this shit goes back to the amateur days? What if I was to tell you all these rumors about people sleeping with coaches, people sleeping with each other, people being promiscuous? How about if I tell you the comet's coming? You see, when you sit here and you look at the landscape of women's boxing, you just look and you just see what people just feel little cat fights. A little meow and little bullshit going on. They don't really think much of it. But see, when you have people help you peel the layers back, and they say, well, this is what's going on here, this is what's going on here, this is what's going on there. That's when I sit back, because y'all know me. If I don't know something, I shut up. When people talk, I listen. I ain't trying to hear myself talk. I've done enough briefings over my years. I still go out here to the schools and brief and lecture and mentor. I don't like to hear myself talk. But when I get people coming here telling me, Hood, this is what you're seeing. You see, all this riff and all this shit going on with the ladies, this is stuff that goes back dealing with men, jealousy, dealing with envy, dealing with money, dealing with opportunities. Real high school nonsense. And it goes way, way back. So I would tell y'all, don't get too invested in no one fighter. Don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all are gonna be shocked, because the comet is coming. What you see with some of these fighters today, people predicted. They said, oh, we know this is what's going to happen with her. Oh, we know this is going to come out. And then with others, people are saying, that one get money, she going to take it to the stupid. And there are others where they're like, this one here, she like to tear people down behind their backs and make herself look like she's the goody two-shoes. Been doing it ever since the amateur days. And the thing is, the ladies don't forget. And then there were those who were just kind of there on the side, just watching and saying, this is crazy. So they chose to distance themselves. There were even some that had really good relationships. Really good relationships as amateurs. Really good relationships. Like sisters. And then someone will come and get involved just with their ways and create divide. Back there as amateurs. And have two people who saw themselves as sisters now seeing themselves as enemies. And the individual who created that divide over time, they didn't want anything to do with either one of them. And then those two who were friends but became enemies, they started saying, hold on, this is stupid. Then they came together and talked and said, oh, okay. Well, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. That's not true, man. We were stupid to sit there and let somebody divide and split us up like this. And now they ain't missed a beat. And they come together and they're doing very well as professional fighters. And they're sitting back just watching the landscape. And they're saying, this shit been going on forever. we noticing with women's boxing? Everybody's paying attention to women's boxing, right? But why? Are we watching women's boxing because we respect the sport? We respect them as athletes? Because they entertain us? We're satisfied after we watch them fight? What really has us watching these women and talking about these women? Is it what they bring to the ring, or is it the drama? What if I told you you haven't heard, you haven't seen nothing yet? How about if I told you you haven't smelt nothing yet? Wait till that shit comes out. Y'all know I ain't about all that drama. So I'm talking in code. But wait till that comes out. Man, how come in the NBA, WNBA they don't have this shit? How come out there, man, with golfing, the women who golf, you don't have that? Women playing soccer. How come you don't have all this nonsense? How were they on interviews and social media and talking crazy? And how come you don't have all that? Is it because we're talking about female fighters now, or female fighters, that's just how they talk and that's how they conduct themselves? Negative, wrong. Man, don't put that jacket on female fighters. Nah. I have a hard time accepting that, because I know a lot of these women are highly educated, man. Very articulate, very intelligent, very loving, very nurturing. And they got that fighter in them as well. But just because you're a fighter don't mean you have to be toxic. You have to tear people down, be nasty. The hell out of here. That's not how that works. That's why there are most of the female fighters, you don't really know about them, because they ain't about all that. They just do their business and roll. But the ones who we talk about a lot, what are they really becoming known for? You know what I'm saying? I am telling you, the comet is coming. And it ain't gonna be nothing pretty, man. My advice to the ladies, stick to boxing. All this controversy, stop. Hood champion shouldn't know what he knows. I shouldn't know what I know. This is deadly right here. I shouldn't see what I see. Now, we like a little bit of controversy, a little trash talk. You know, nothing wrong with that. But you get to a point to where now it's personal attacks. You see? It's not even competitive energy. It's personal attacks. Start attacking women, bringing up things from years ago. Videos and images of shit circulating from years ago. That's not what it's about here. But people wouldn't be trying to dig up shit and come out here and destroy a person if there wasn't all this bullshit going on online. I mean, can't we all just get along? I thought women were supposed to work together. What they say? Women ain't like the men. Women, we stick together. We look out for one another. We got the sisterhood. Yeah, the women. Yeah, our sister and this and that. Boom. We cook food together, this and that. Okay, y'all bubbling pots, y'all there. Okay, got the sister and sisterhood. Everybody out there, kumbaya. And all right, where is it? Where is it? You got secrets, you got lies, and this one says this is the truth. You got scandal, betrayal. I'm going to reveal this. I know that. Who was sleeping with who? Who didn't wash their ass? What? that shit from back in them teenage days or whatever, man. Leave that shit there. Well, nah, because so-and-so said this. And I know subliminally what they were saying. So, no, I'm going to say what I got to say. Are you sure you won't do that? Because then all of a sudden, now they're going to start talking about you. It's crazy, man. I watch the WNBA from time to time. And on the court, I'm sure they talk trash. But I can't, and you know what the problem is? Maybe because there's no code of ethics with boxing. Maybe there's no one getting penalized and fined for their conduct. In the ring, outside the ring. Because boxing is the wild, wild west. Men and women. It's the wild, wild west. Boxers aren't forced to wear suits and ties to games and all that, or to fights. No, they just do what they want. Zuffa Boxing is trying to create a bit more structure. People want more individuality. They want to be independent. I understand that. But I think there's some pros and cons to allowing the individuality and people to kind of do what they want, say what they want without repercussion. But I think if you have that system to where there are repercussions and heavy fines, people don't like to be hit in the pocket. Hit them in the pocket. All that roaring turned to a chirp. Hit them again. That chirp turned to silence. And I'll be honest with you, with these women, it's best just to be silent. Because I'm telling you right now, they all know shit about each other. They all came up together. Women's boxing is a small fraternity. See, I didn't know they all knew each other like that. I didn't know that. I was like, what? But the wrong person get this information. Especially on two individuals. It's two individuals. Somebody get that information on them two individuals. Ooh-wee. Because fans are split as far as who they want to support when they come to them too. You know me, I don't give a shit. I'm neutral. I just like talking about boxing. I like to hear a little bit of the drama, but y'all know me, I don't give a shit. If there's a certain fighter, I don't care who it is. They're doing something good, I'm going to say it. They're doing something bad, I'm going to say it. You know, I don't care. Everyone know I don't care. The champion don't care. He get 200,000 subscribers, cool. He stay where he's at, cool. He lose 1,000, he just don't care. I'm not going to say what I think people want to hear. But what I will tell you is this. There's two in particular. I'll just say they need to stop. Because that comment is coming. And that shit is coming with some speed. And upon impact, everybody's going to get destroyed. Everyone's going to get destroyed. And it shouldn't be like that. Y'all like thieves? How would you feel if you and somebody were forced to be together, right? For whatever reason, whatever reason. Let's just say you're forced to be with somebody for whatever reason. And this person you trust, and they're stealing from you. And you find out it's them. And because of that situation, you never asked for it because you realize that the person just don't have. And this person comes back now, 10, 15 years later, and they're talking trash about you. They done forgot about them stealing from you, and you say, no, go ahead and keep that. I know you need that. But they come out here today and they're tearing you down and saying stuff about you that's not true. But you got this goddamn wild joker right here. You just waiting to drop that shit. But you know if you drop it, the type of destruction you're going to cause. And this is what I'm saying. People should stop. You know, love everyone, hate no one. You know what I'm saying? Stop with all this drama. Be kind. Just be kind, people. Because, my God. There's some women out here who are innocent and don't deserve the slander, defamation, the attacks. There's some other ones. Well, I'm going to just tell you, they need to just leave. They just need to stop. Don't put yourself in that spotlight. Because I just can't. I'm thinking about deleting this. What's it called? Incognito in the channel for a little bit. I can't be digesting this shit. You know, because I'm looking at all these ladies with a lot of respect, man. And they're the badass athletes. Great athletes, man. But you know, this right here, I don't even, man. I'll just say, just be professional. Whatever issues there may be going on, talk, resolve that shit. Don't come online. Don't talk about, don't do that. Just stop. Because you know what's crazy? It's not, a lot of times it's not even a person, there's somebody on the sidelines who just hears something and don't like it and decide they're going to be the ones that come out and handle it in their way. So you got someone who's not even directly involved in the friction, but they're like, oh yeah, well, I know something about this one, and then all of a sudden things start shifting. Anyway, I got to go run some errands. I just had to get a little bit of this out my system without giving y'all all the specifics, because if I give y'all that shit, the internet will shut down today. The internet will shut down today. And this, y'all know I don't come out here bringing bullshit. That's why I'm not saying nothing. But all I'm saying is, the Comet's coming, people. That's part 2. Now let's see what's going to happen here with part 3. Y'all just watch. This shit just getting started. People need to just love everyone and hate no one and stop. Because the Comet is coming. It wasn't all this drama with the men. The other sports have drama like this? Shit. Y'all think this SNAC talk is something else? That ain't shit. Let me go do what I gotta do, man. Watch that fight this weekend, man. That fight called David Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez. Don't miss that. You want to see a dead body? You can watch them fights. I swear to God, somebody gonna get killed this weekend. That's how violent that fight card is. Well, y'all enjoy your day, man. Eat something good. I'm in the breeze.